Hello everybody, I'm Solanima and welcome back to Support Conversations.
My name is Zathos, and we've got ourselves a special guest. That's your
You
cue.
care to introduce yourself?
Shit.
Oh, that's my cue. Alright, hi everybody, I'm James S Cassidy. If you don't know who I am, that's sad for you.
Yeah. You might know him from one of my videos, probably not because not many people watch my videos anymore, but hey, maybe you have.
Oh, Corey, hitting yourself already? Come on, that's my job.
Well, it's the truth.
No matter.
Well, most of your highlight videos are just Taylor talking.
Yeah.
It's
Most of them are you laughing, actually.
Like it's one of those things where I feel like sometimes I end up stealing the show, and then people are like, "Oh, Taylor's really entertaining," and then nobody comes to my channel where they can get more of me.
That's the thing, maybe we should just start pairing our efforts since we play off each other so well. But anyway, that's another issue for another time.
Yeah.
Today for Support Conversation, in a minute we're going to talk about something that we've both, the three of us have actually recently gotten into, which is Dungeons and Dragons. But before that,
D&D for the hip crowd.
yeah. Before that, our guest speaker, James S Cassidy here, I'd like him to kind of give us a little rundown of his interests, kind of like what we did in the first two episodes of the podcast.
Just so you guys can get a rough idea of how much of an asshole he is.
Yeah, so...
Oh, thanks, Sam. Thanks.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Sam.
Kisses.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
you can tell he's my friend, right?
Yeah.
I've actually known Scott for coming up for a little bit over a decade now, right?
Close to 15 years, man.
Yeah.
Give or take.
And I only know Scott through Zathos.
No, come on, tell him the truth. It's through eHarmony.
What's eHarmony?
Okay, I'm just kidding.
First of all,
So-
first of all,
No, I know it is.
I don't think. Wait, what, Corey?
I said, what's eHarmony?
Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so the point is,
You sounded getting scared there for a second. Like, do you really not know this?
like, I'm just like, Corey, I know you're a good little Christian boy, but I didn't know it went that far.
No, I see ads on the internet.
I don't. It's my favorite. Anyways, so Scott, go ahead. What
Let's start with we started with just like childhood experience in games, like what got you into gaming.
Okay.
Like some of the first games you remember playing, that kind of thing.
And we're going
Alright,
with
so-
we're going with the Saitama rule, 20 words or less.
Alright, so I started out with the NES, and my first game was Paperboy.
I remember that game.
That music. Oh my god, there's a lawnmower. Gonna crash my bike. It hurts a lot.
That was an interesting game. I can't remember if I played that or if it was like the Super NES paperboy game.
I never played it.
I mean, it's what it sounds like. You're playing as a boy delivering newspapers in the morning, but everything could kill you.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things is when you throw out paper and it hits the window and it breaks, and you have the old lady with the frying pan come at you. Or what's the rolling pin? Whatever, which one?
One or the other.
It's just this
Some
old
kind
lady
of
just chasing you down
cooking
the street.
object.
Yeah.
So did you aim for the windows? You're like, come on.
Every time. I was like, it's amazing. How does this piece of rolled up newspaper break a window?
And then you got an actual job, and you're like, must break habits.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wasn't
So,
capable.
So what were some of your favorite games as a kid then? Because that was like one of the first ones you played, but like what kind of genre do you tend to enjoy the most?
My favorite games are, my favorite genre is the first-person shooters and adventure games. My least favorite are basically sports games and racing games.
Yeah.
Just so entertaining.
I only find those entertaining if it's like there's some kind of unique spin on it.
Like Burnout.
Yeah, like Burnout or even like Mario Kart for racing games. If it's just like a realistic racer or a realistic sports game, it's like, that's boring.
I can do a realistic racer like once or twice. I can see the appeal in it where I'm like, holy crap, shit looks nice. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I mean, if you see like the Forza games, those tend to be really beautiful, but then you're just like, well, I'm still driving.
Yeah.
Still driving. Still looks pretty.
You know, it's like it's one of those things where like, yeah, this looks amazing. I can see the stitching in the leather, but you're just like, cool.
One of my favorite games of all time, and I still have a copy of it, is Shenmue.
Oh.
Shenmue 2. Which I'm really excited because we're getting Shenmue 3. Woo!
And everyone keeps talking about those, and I'm like, should I go back and pick those up now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about the game, just that everyone says they're amazing.
You play them with a controller.
Well, I know that much.
And there's a main protagonist and possibly an antagonist, Corey.
Yes,
But
there's
you
an
never know.
antagonist.
Maybe more than one.
Yeah, I wonder if they can do like
You would actually like the gay character. There's a hot biker chick and a guy who's a complete dick.
I might.
Like, he's
It's like,
such a dick that he's like, okay, we'll decide who goes on a flip of a coin. What does he do? No matter what you choose, he pulls out a double-sided coin. You say tails, he pulls out a coin with 2 tails. He just flips it. Tails, you lose.
I like him. He's a dick.
He is.
Hope he lives.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, I'll look into getting that. Yeah.
That's gaming. The number one thing I know about anime with you, Scott, is that I don't know, like I'm not sure which anime it is that you started with, but like I remember one of my first, romance animes that I had was like Love Hina, and I think we bonded over that a little bit.
Yes.
Like I still
I wasn't there
remember
for this.
so incredibly vividly. Where like on the 3rd episode of Love Hina, because I watched this scene over and over and over again when he meets a samurai chick, and what she is that she's Corey, I think you could like this girl. She's so good with a sword. Is that with a wooden sword she can cause like an F5 gust of wind.
Well, there was that one scene where, like, Kitsune, she throws up a little log, she strikes it with her sword, it lands to the ground, it pops open, and out comes a Gundam.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean to ask is, I know that Love Hina is like the, if not the first, if not the original harem, then at least the one that popularized the harem genre. So, is it still worth watching, or is it just kind of a more of a historical piece of interest?
To be fair, the memories that I have of it are gonna be skewed a lot, because I watched this back when I was in middle school, elementary school, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it.
Yeah, I didn't watch my first anime till like my first year of college, I think it was.
Yeah, I got a head start on you.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it, and I wasn't really fully sure what was going on. What was going on. Well, one, I knew it was like in Japanese, so I had to read the subtitles.
Well, I guess
I got really good at reading subtitles.
I guess technically my first anime was the Pokemon anime, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Anyways, so
My first anime was Sailor Moon.
My point is that when I watched it as a kid, for me it reminded me of something like The Real World or like Full House, something that I could connect it to with my Western kind of, with my Western shows at the time.
Yeah.
But like it was like a Japanese spin on it kind of thing, and I was just like, oh, this is pretty interesting, like cartoon characters all living in one house having to get along, and that was what I saw it as. I didn't see it as like a harem. It wasn't until like I was about halfway through it I was like, oh, there's some romance going on, and I'm just like, oh,
they all want him.
Yeah. And it was like one of those things where I was just like, well, that was neat.
Yeah.
And then I watched Elfen Lied after that, and I was like, oh, this is different.
This is very different. Yeah, for me, I went from, if I remember correctly, I went from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, at least the first season. I don't know if I never caught the second season. But I went from that to Lucky Star to probably a few other things, and eventually to K-On!, which is still one of my favorites.
Yeah, which again, it's one of my biggest problems with you in terms of your choice of anime. Is that we've had a discussion before where like for you got introduced to slice of life early on in your anime watching things, so like you're okay with it. But for me, like if there isn't like a plot or something like that, slice of life is very, very difficult for me to follow.
Yeah, I mean, you enjoyed Silver Spoon.
Unless something's like really, really entertaining. And even then in Silver Spoon there was still like an overarching plot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is he gonna do with this pig? Or it's like how is he going to adapt to being out here in the countryside?
Yeah, and again, I think we went over this in our anime episode of the podcast, but the short version of it is when there's not a plot. For me, the appeal of slice of life is that it's more about characterization. Like the plot is replaced by characters like their relationships growing and them bonding over different
and them
events.
Evolving over time. Well, for me, like I like seeing a plot where people react to stimuli.
Yeah, and that's good too.
Like this overarching stimuli where like it's hanging over the entire time.
Yeah, you might actually like the anime Kokoro Connect, but
no.
Do you even know anything about it, or just because I recommend it, it's no?
Nope. If you recommend it, it's shit.
I'm actually going to watch a new anime called Black Bullet.
I swear that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard
people
it.
have been telling me lately it's kind of like an Attack on Titan ripoff, but I'm waiting to see it before I make that judgment.
That sounds fantastic.
No, I think what I heard of, like, name I heard thrown out at like SoccerCon was what was it? I want to say like Black Lagoon or something with Lagoon in the title.
Corey, you should not watch Black Lagoon.
No, I know I shouldn't. I'm just saying that's the name I hear tossed around here every now and then.
I have that.
In the context of I probably shouldn't watch that. It's like I've heard that of people talking about it, but
Yeah,
for saying I thought like it was Black Bolt. That's like no, it was Black Lagoon is what it was called.
Yeah, Black Lagoon, personally, like, I haven't seen it, but I know a lot about it. It's one of those weird things where,
I think you showed me like an AMV of it, didn't you? Which just had some impressive like gunplay.
Yeah, it was amazing gunplay.
Like a close quarters fight between two characters where they're fighting with guns, but like hand to hand and gunfighting at the same time.
Yeah, I showed you 2 AMVs with it. One of them is Tommy Gun. Seriously, go look that up, everybody. Just type in Black Lagoon and then Tommy Gun, and then you'll find it. It's literally the first one there. You can't miss it.
Let's dig it down because YouTube's being stupid right now.
And then the other one was like, I can't remember the name of it, but I remember, like, it's a song where like the lead singer is like he needs to get into a fight, like that's the idea of the song is like there's somebody who he's been wanting to kick their ass for a long time, and he's like, it's fucking coming, I'm kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Lagoon, also known as F-Bomb the Anime.
Oh yeah, there is Black Lagoon, the fucking short version, where they go through the entire anime, and they only just do jump cuts in between fucking. And it's actually really kind of hypnotizing after a while.
Yeah. It's really funny.
It's just like fucking.
Fucking fuck. It's just...
Like, it just keeps going, and there's like a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Man, if it had to be censored, you just hear beep, 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 boop, beep, beep, beep.
And then you end up contacting the mothership, and then shit goes south.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what. The song to fucking town.
Won't you take me down to Funky Town?
Yeah, my first anime was actually Sailor Moon, and then I got into Dragon Ball Z. Like, who didn't?
Yeah, I may have actually, when I was a kid, caught an episode or two of Sailor Moon just because my sister watched it. Like, I know she had one Sailor Moon movie. I think it was like Black Dream Hole, where she watched over and over again. And sometimes I happened to be in the...
Yeah, Sailor Moon was hype. Like,
it was porn to me because I just loved her transforming. It was just like my imagination.
Yeah, wasn't it like a? I think it was a nostalgic review said that those transformation sequences were like awakening moments for a lot of guys.
See, for me, like, when I watched Sailor Moon, like, I was really hyped, and I really hated the transformation sequences because, like, I was like, okay, and then I was like, this is taking a while. And then eventually I'm just
I remember you telling me though, Taylor, when you were younger, all it would take is for what's his name, Tom, to say, "This is for all the ladies out there," and you just go, and sit on the couch.
I was still really hyped for Sailor Moon because it was a cool show where it was like fighting supernatural monster kind of things. It was one of the things that, like, as a kid you get hyped for.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see good triumph over evil. Now that I'm an adult, I just want to see good get squashed like a bug.
Yeah.
We all know Tuxedo Mask was like the laziest but most awesome character in the show. What does he do? Comes in, throws a rose, says something inspirational, everybody dies. That's it.
Oh my god, that's great.
Until that one time we had split personality, and then there was like a white mask and a
Yeah.
There was a white version. There was him dressed as Tuxedo Mask, and then there was like.
And then there was a red version. And the artist is just like, help me, I'm running out of ideas.
Okay.
I got it. Blue.
All right. Anyways, so do you have any last things you want to say about anime or video games? As your introduction.
Honestly, like, I'm an avid when it comes to video games. Although over the years I've gotten more prestigious when it comes to anime and stuff like that. So I have very high standards of what is good and bad anime.
I'm just imagining you holding up the DVD box set of like, so then like Madoka Magica would be like, oh no. Like you go like all Professor Snape, just like, oh.
Yeah. I just finished watching Sakurai and I want to do a review on it, so...
Oh, this is one thing I want to point out really quick. I feel like I'd be more okay with Magical Girl animes if they weren't so, like, transformy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
To be fair, Madoka Magica's transformations were really quick, but...
No, it's not that. It's the fact that they have to transform.
Oh, I see.
Like it's like it's like, oh, you're a magical girl. It's like, what do you do? It's like you can use magic and shit, and you're a girl, and it's just like, cool. Like, I don't have to wear a really pretty over-the-top dress, do I? It's like, no, that'd be fucking stupid.
Yes.
Why?
That'd be fun to watch, like a deconstruct, like an anime that deconstructs magical girl anime. I'd be really into that.
Like if the girl doesn't even have to use a wand, you know, it's like for the first handful of episodes she's using the wand, and then the thing they gave her, it's like, why are you using that wand? It's like, I figured I had to use it. It's like, no,
You gave it to me, so I thought I needed
you
it.
Just do whatever you want. You're good to go.
You don't need to transform to use your powers. That's just a bonus.
Yeah. And then like
That's just to show off to your friends.
And then like as the series progresses, you know, like she becomes better at just like summoning shit to her hand.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, oh crap, I need a gun. Okay, that'll do.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, let's...
Or she can have the wild magic like Josh's D&D character. Speaking of D&D, let's go ahead and make a transition.
Good transition. I was about to say, let's move over to our topic of the podcast.
Well, that's my cue. Play me out, Sam.
Okay, so first off, we should probably discuss, like, how do we get into this?
Okay, so first of all, if you guys don't know who Pro Jared is, please go over, check out his channel, Pro Jared.
He's an awesome guy.
He's a fantastic guy. I love his reviews. Corey and I both love his reviews because whenever he does like a final rating, it's not a number. It's like an item out of 10.
And then he explains like how that item makes sense, like a bold Lucky Charms out of 10. Where it's like, this game has good parts, but also has icky parts.
Yeah. So stuff like that is great. And he did this thing called D&D December. And at the point, like, I remember back when I was in high school, I knew I was nerdy, I knew I was geeky, but I said, you will never catch me dead playing D&D.
Yeah, and I'd heard about it before. I think like
wrong.
Yeah, I think that both of us were kind of like, I don't know if it was D&D December what got you interested in the first place, or like that would immediately got your attention, or was it more like, because I remember for me, I was like kind of thinking about it, like, I heard I'm going to college again. Some of the students in my class, I'd heard them talking about D&D. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing. I should look into that and see what it's about. So I wasn't interested yet, but until D&D December started. But I was kind of starting to get interest. Like, huh, what is this thing?
I think the thing that really helped us is that we started playing shit like Betrayal on House on the Hill.
Yeah, which is like a what do you call it? Like a light RPG.
Which kind of rekindled my love of RPing. For those of you that don't know, I love doing a good RP.
Yeah, we had this one site where the three of us were actually all involved.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama, but that side, we had like this. For those who don't know, it's basically like a forum where we just like we all made characters and then had them interact with an.
I think at one time I was juggling like almost 8 or 9 characters.
I think it was more than that, but I didn't keep count. Like I had like once you could. Yeah, like every chapter you add like 2 or 3 new characters, just because you could, and because there's no limit on how many characters each person could have. You just had to be able to keep up. So like every time you posted, you have each of your characters react to whatever situation they were in at the time.
Yeah.
And then there's one person who was like the host of the site, who kind of kept us going in a general direction. I didn't actually join up until pretty late into the story, but
I think we've shared this a lot of times. I don't know if we've done it on a podcast, but the point is that I had a lot of fun doing those role plays. I love like one thing I really liked, and this is one of the reasons why it is I did drama, is that I loved taking like becoming a character and playing out actions as a character like that would.
Yeah.
You know, and
I felt that way.
Why it is I really like being a villain, because not very often do you get to be a villain in real life, and so I think that's one of the reasons why I like being a villain, because it's a good like being Scar from the Lion King. You get to murder your brother. I don't get to do that too often outside of drama. Yeah,
but like D&D, it feels like it's like a meeting point of 2 things I loved, which is the online RPs, which I loved because it was like it was collaborative storytelling, and I love telling stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really good at it or not, but when you have someone else to pick up the slack when you start running out of ideas, then you can play off each other, and it's a really great experience doing that. And the other part is, like kind of what you said, becoming a character, which I noticed when I started playing mostly BioWare RPGs, where you can actually create a character and then shape them through their dialogue options and their appearance and all that.
Which if you guys ever take a look at my Dark Souls character, like my character loads, like I have a whole bunch of characters that they're all based around a build and a personality.
Yeah.
Like their build reflects the personality, but like you know how that works. And so when I got into D&D, This is actually like the way I got into D&D was
Through
actually through
D&D December.
Yeah, it was through D&D December with Pro Jared. Let's get back to that. And
Yeah.
specifically, it was the ballista bat. I'm not going to say shit.
Hey, just look up Pro Jared.
I'm
Just look up
not going to say shit about the video. I'm just going to say go watch the ballista bat.
by Pro Jared.
That was absolutely like that made me laugh.
Sponsor.
I thought it was fantastic. Sponsor. That made me laugh. I thought it was great. And I was just like, holy crap.
It's a great example of.
Like that. And it was one of those things. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
No, I
I'll
know.
finish my rant.
Go ahead.
It's one of those things that when I finished the video, it kind of realized to me that D&D has almost no limits in terms of like what it is that you can or can't do. You can attempt everything.
Yeah, that was a big drop for me too.
Success is not guaranteed.
Yeah, it's like how I said this to you before it wasn't on the podcast. How if I play a game like an open world game or an RPG or something like Skyrim, for example, where you can choose what direction to go, but you're still restricted by the game's code and what it allows you to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's modding obviously, but in general, you can't do anything with modding. With D&D, if you can think it, you can do it, or at least attempt to do it.
Yeah, and the best example we had is that one time I was DMing and they were trying to find a guy in a crowd. And then so Corey couldn't find him in the crowd and he's just like, can I get to a higher vantage point? And I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, like, I tried a perception roll and he's like, you can't see him because he's too well hidden. I'm like, is there like some scaffolding or something I can jump up onto?
And I'm like, yeah. And then you're like, well, I'm going to do it. I was like, well, do an acrobatics check. And he does it. He successfully does it. He's up on the high ground and he spots him.
Yeah, and you told me later on that that really got you excited that I was actually thinking outside the box like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it's also I mean, both me and Zathos have tried a little bit of DMing. We're both really new at this stuff, so we're playing by a lot of house rules, and there's probably a lot of things we're doing wrong. Like if someone sat in and watched us play who was experienced with D&D, they say you can't do that.
Of which I would say too bad.
It's too bad we're having fun. But anyway.
Yeah, it's like, hey, that's the wrong roll. It's like they'd be like, oh, instead of using the acrobatics, he should have done it off of his strength. To which I say, too bad.
Yeah. Like I remember my first experience DMing because after that Zathos was the first DM we had in our group, and he did a couple of stories, and I was going to him like, I'd like to try this. This looks like fun. After actually crafting the world for them.
Absolutely, do your best, and he did a great story.
Yeah, I appreciate that you enjoyed it. I did my best, but one thing I noticed, aside from my two favorite parts about being a DM myself, is one is crafting the world, where I was able to go into like really good detail about like what the cities look like or what the environment looks like, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I almost like as I was talking about them, I was forming like a mental picture and like thinking to myself, I want to go there someday.
Yeah.
I was falling in love with the things I was creating, sort of. Yeah. And the second part is. The second part I had a lot of fun with was, how do I describe it? Great success and colossal failure, which basically, when the players roll a 20, it's a crit, or when they roll a 1, it's like the opposite of a crit. So, as a DM, I get to come up with creative solutions or stories of what exactly happens when they do this.
Yeah, like the best example I can think of is that Scott here.
It was three of us. I was DMing, and Zathos and Scott were the two players.
My character is a tiefling bard who's a pacifist.
And I was a level 4 paladin ranger awesome man.
You're a human paladin.
You forgot to suck your retainer back in. Anyways.
So we had a tiefling bard who was probably looked like a human, and a human paladin.
And so what happened is that we get surrounded by bandits, and instead of sticking around to fight because something was blocking my magic, as a bard, I was like, we need to get out of here.
Yeah, because without your magic, your combat options were limited.
So I use my acrobatics to flip over Scott and attack an archer who was in the back, and then Scott attacks the two people who are in front of him, and then he rolls and he gets a 20 on the Warhammer attack, and it's a vertical attack, and he's like, well, what happens? And then Corey just goes, he's about 3 feet shorter.
Well, 3 inches.
Yeah,
and you're supposed to start laughing.
He just like, poof, and it just made us laugh. And then like later on in that same campaign, we get surrounded by bandits.
Again,
the
but
same group. And
the same faction at least.
Yeah, and we were in a caravan, and I was on one side of the caravan, and I realized I needed to get to the other side of the caravan.
So instead of just walking there, you wanted to be fancy about it.
Yeah, I wanted to, of course, because
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I want to show off.
Yeah, when you have high acrobatics, you might as well use it.
Worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump on Scott's shield, and I'm gonna use that as a platform to jump off and boost myself over the caravan, because I'm assuming I could naturally jump that high.
It's like a covered wagon. Think like Old West covered wagons.
Yeah, so it was pretty tall, so I was just like, I need something to help me jump over it, and I'm like, I'm gonna use that. And Corey's like, make your roll, and I rolled, and it was a 1. And then Corey's like, you lose your footing, slip, and hit your face on the shield.
Yeah.
And to which I say, I'm just gonna walk around it.
Yeah, like I said, those are some of my favorite things. Just like to come up with like funny stories of what happens when something crazy happens. Like there's a whole website we saw that kind of sparked the idea right before I started DMing. We were looking at these pictures of like people who rolled 20s and who rolled 1s.
Yeah, where it's like
in attempt to dodge the swarm, in attempt to dodge the hail of arrows, you jump into the swarm.
Or it's like you go to push the orc off the bridge and you roll a 1. It's like, but instead you lightly caress his back. He's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Or like someone rolls a 20. It's like you somehow dodged through the poison mist.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It's just like, I don't know how you did it, but good job.
Yeah. This reminds me, I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys before. I think I showed you the picture, Taylor, but there's one point where I was looking at these two people like doing like in like chat roulette or something like that. We're doing an online roleplay.
Okay.
And one person.
Like I know where this is going.
Yeah. So you'll know as soon as I say the word, but
yeah.
Like one person, like the person who's like in charge of it, like the person who's like leading them through the story.
Yeah.
Is like telling where he is, and it's like look around. The player's like look around. It's like you look around, and you see a beehive. And it's like get bees. It's like you get bees. They're buzzing around you and look very angry. You equip bees. Wait, F dude, seriously? Yes. In all caps, you equip bees. And there's like a picture of a guy like just covered from head to toe in bees.
You equip the bees.
Yeah,
no one's gonna want to hit him.
You have gained a bikini.
I hate you.
That's another thing about his paladin is he likes to make puns.
Well, I am called a pun-isher.
I hate you. So I think the thing that really helped kickstart it is that Jack, not Jack, fucking Projared. I don't know where Jack came in.
You keep dropping Jack's name when you mean other people. Like in our like, Blues episode, you talked about him instead of K-Hart.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Still K-Hart. I don't mean to insult you. My point is that Projared got me interested in D&D, and so I looked into it and found out that I do have a D&D group that meets at the comic book store every Wednesday, and it's a group of really cool guys. And in fact, a funny story real quick is that in one of our most recent things, we ended up losing 3 characters without getting into a single fight.
Yeah.
And
except for a fight with death, which is over in 1 round.
For those of you thinking, well, how could that happen? It's because we had a deck of many things, and the way it works is that half of the deck is good, and half of the deck is bad. And you declare how many cards you're going to draw from the deck, and then you draw that many cards. And so there's nothing that can stop you from drawing those as soon as you start, but you can't stop. You must draw the cards that you declared. And there was a guy next to.
We'll start off with the guy who started said, "I'll go first, and I'll draw 3 cards."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna draw 3 cards." He drew 1 black and 2 red, something like that, and he ended up.
Which black being bad and red being good.
Yeah, black is bad and red is good. So he ended up doing pretty good. And then the guy next to him, who was Jacob, and please note that Jacob is one of those prick characters, the one who tries to make his character as perfect as possible, which is don't be that guy.
And his character constantly changes alignment too, because he had multiple personality.
Multiple personalities and or schizophrenia, which I'm like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it's one second he'd be lawful good, the next second he'd be neutral, chaotic neutral.
Yeah, and I'm like, you have to choose. You either choose or there's a trigger that swaps you over. You know?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, getting into mental health issues aside later.
Okay.
The point is that that he decides to draw four characters with one of his favorite. 4 cards with one of his favorite characters, which is Neebs. He draws all 4 of them. All 4 of them are black. Basically what ended up happening is they ended up losing all of his gold, all of his non-magical items, A demon was chasing him, which was like a pit lord or something, and he had to fight death right then and there.
And his character wasn't anywhere near high enough level to fight death.
Yeah, he didn't succeed. Death took him, and when death takes you personally, there's no reviving. You're gone.
So did you say that you're gonna have to like go and like get his soul back, something like that, or is that a different character?
No, because that's his next character. His next character drew another 4, and it was a bunch of stuff. I can't remember what it was, but the fourth one put him into stasis. You know, the third one put him into stasis, so he can't move. Okay?
Yeah.
And then the fourth one teleported him somewhere random, and we have no idea where he is.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, there goes the second one. And then like he tried to bring in like his third character, and we were like, no.
You've drawn 8 black cards. You're done drawing.
Yeah. And so the deck went around again, and I was the last person to draw. And after seeing like all the horrible things that happened to him, and when I see like everybody else get mostly red cards, because he took 8 of the 11 black cards.
Yeah.
And so he comes to me and he's like, "Do you want to draw?" And I'm like, "No, give me 2."
Yeah.
And so I ended up drawing the rest of the deck, and I got some nice stuff. But my point is that playing D&D with a group of people is actually a lot of fun. Even if you're coming in new, it's still really cool.
Yeah. I think Pro Jared mentioned that if you're new to D&D, just find a group nearby, and D&D players tend to be really to really like. They're like accepting and really nice and like eager to get more people to play with them.
Yeah.
Because having a large group makes things more interesting.
Yeah, and that's what and that's what I'm doing. After I started playing D&D, I found out that one of my coworkers played D&D, and then she showed up for a few hours, and then another one of my coworkers, he was kind of interested in D&D, and I was like, well, why don't you stop by? And then he's just like, I don't know. I was like, no, let me rephrase this. You're stopping by.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
And if I lived next to Taylor, he'd probably do the same to me.
Scott, you want to go to Vegas? I can't right now. Let me rephrase this. Get in the car.
Scott, you're going to Vegas. I can't right now, Taylor. I gotta go to work. That wasn't negotiation.
I think I remember hearing
Get in the car.
That reminds me of a like a poem I heard one time. It was like roses are red, violets are blue. I have a gun. Get in the car.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I have a gun. Get in the car. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know where I heard that, but I remember thinking it was funny at the time.
Roses are orange. This poem makes no sense. I'm schizophrenic. So am I.
Yeah.
It's like there's the wait. Oh,
It's
like oh yeah. That's what I was it's like roses. It's like roses are blue. Violets are pink. This poem makes no sense. Microwave. And that was like tattooed on somebody.
Yeah. Guess they lived their life by that thought process.
Apparently. Microwaves like end all sentences.
So, yeah.
Roses are red. My name is Dave. This poem makes no sense. Microwave.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it was. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
just real quick, by the way.
Well, I was gonna be like, we should try to describe our characters a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that you're a tiefling bard and that Scott was a human paladin, but aside from that, we can go into. Just for fun, these are our first characters we've made in D&D, so these are what we kind of went with.
So my character is a tiefling bard who was abandoned by her parents. So she kind of had to survive in the world on her own. And because of it, she's seen the cruelty of many races, and there aren't very many races that she trusts anymore. And like she's been sold into slavery and like attacked by raiders and
used and abused,
at every single turn. But she still likes to make people smile with
somebody need a hug.
And so for me, that was her driving force. You know, why does she play music? It's like because it's one of the few things that lets her be happy in a room full of other people who are also happy.
She also tends to keep herself polymorphed to look like a human.
Yeah. She's also learned that people are not very trusting of tieflings, which is true for the most part. But but the one thing that I'm actually really curious about, this I actually ended up talking with this about Scott later on, is that tieflings naturally gravitate towards an evil alignment, be that neutral evil or chaotic evil or lawful.
Doesn't mean they're all evil. It just means they tend to lean towards that direction.
And
in a lot of cases.
So what I was personally thinking is like, wouldn't that be interesting if she had to make the fight between the way that her heritage is taking her versus the way that it is that she wants to go.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting, and that's what I went for. When I made her, I wanted to make an interesting character, and that was also the point, is that she's been attacked and beaten for so long that the idea of combat isn't very appealing to her unless she's got like a significant upper hand. Like she knows that she can fight, and like she won't be in any danger.
Yeah, she's one to like she likes to use misdirection and that kind of thing to avoid a fight if she can.
Yeah, and so and like it's like in that one thing how we were surrounded and we realized that we needed to run. Like instead of standing there and fighting, which I'm pretty sure we probably could have killed them fairly easily.
Yeah, because I ended up picking pretty low characters because there's so many of them.
So I was like we probably could have just ran, and we did.
But when your character tried to cast a spell and found out that this magic was being blocked, it kind of made her really worried. Like suddenly, you have something that you can't draw off of anymore.
Yeah, which is the whole point. And also, all of her spells, like most of her spells, also helps her with her performance. Things like prestidigitation and dancing lights and alter self, things like that. It's supposed to help her with the performance and helps her put on a better show. That's her whole
She uses performance enhancers.
There you go. And then my other character is that I have a barbarian named Hector.
Didn't you end up handing him over to?
I didn't hand him over. I didn't hand him over to Jack. I just kind of was like, "Do you want to use this character?" And he took the stats and everything, but he changed the name. So
he changed the name and kind of made the character his own.
Yeah, he made the character his own. So like he just has the character's stats, which is fine.
Yeah. He'll control character growth from here on out too. So the two characters end up being very different if you end up using Hector somewhere else.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that Hector's a half orc, and he can only speak orc. He can't speak common, even though I see in the DM thing it's like, oh, you speak common and one other thing. I'm just like, but if he doesn't know common,
yeah,
you know, like he's a half orc, and his past is that he's an exile, he's an outlander, so he just kind of like lives on his own, and he like if he ever did learn common, he wasn't speaking it enough, and he probably forgot it.
Yeah.
Maybe he does a hybrid of Orcish.
Orc and common. He's like bread.
So maybe he knows like one or two words here and there, but for the most part he's forgotten it.
Yeah, and the whole idea behind him is that I wanted to make him like strength with a shit ton of tank and a metric crap ton of wisdom, but he is stupid. like he can't tell you what a triangle is, but he can sure as shit tell you which berries you should eat.
Yeah.
And that was the idea behind him. And those are my two characters right now. So expect about 40 more next time we talk.
Yeah. I on the other hand just have one character, and he's a Dragonborn monk whose basic past history is that he grew up in a monastery that was exclusively Dragonborn, so like just surrounded by his own people for a while, and until an anti-Dragonborn faction, which said he actually I was just coming up with it on the spot. And didn't you say that there's actually a group that is anti-Dragonborn?
Yeah, I believe they're called the Dragon Cult. I could be wrong.
Yeah. But anyway, so whether it's them or not, my character doesn't know. He just knows that some kind of some group attacked in the night, burned down the temple, and killed everyone there, only leaving him as the sole survivor, which he probably would have been dead if he hadn't been like caught under some rubble, and ended up getting some severe like burn scars on the side of his face. So he, I mean, after that he didn't have any reason to stay at the monastery, so he left, ended up being picked up by a traveling merchant, and kind of went into the merchant life himself because he didn't have anything else better to do. So the Dragonborn monk works as a traveling merchant. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's all there is really to him right now. I've plans on how he can develop later, but for now, that's all I got on him.
Which is good. Like it's good to start somewhere with that.
Yeah. Also, his alignment is neutral good.
Yeah. But my tiefling's alignment is true neutral, but like I go with that because I want to make her sculptable.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that you can change your alignment later. So if you don't know what your character should be, or if you if you don't have them locked in place yet, then it's good to start to neutral and then kind of develop from there.
I like that one thing. Though. I do have kind of like a third character, but they're like a mini character, and it's Steve the gnome.
Yeah, you kind of made him last night or the night before's session.
Yeah.
I convinced Taylor here to make him an actual character. I says, this is what you got to do, Taylor, to make it your own thing. No matter what adventure you have us go on, you have to have Steve the Gnome make some kind of appearance somewhere.
So he doesn't have like a character sheet for him or anything, but
no, he just kind of shows up.
He's the most invincible character in the whole game, but he doesn't do anything good.
Yeah, so he's
not helpful whatsoever.
He's a gnome that can only speak Goblin.
He cannot speak Gnomish.
No, he cannot speak Gnomish.
I thought he at least spoke his own people's language.
Nope, he can only speak
Don't
Goblin. And so what happened is that they were making what's essentially a spider tank. I'm not going to go into too many details, but it's a spider tank, and the body is cylindrical. Okay, and what happened is that Steve was supposed to put the hatch on it so that way people could get in and out, but he didn't. So they just ended up sealing themselves inside of a giant cylindrical spider tank, and then our party ends up freeing them. And one thing leads to another, and somebody needs a way to make their voice louder. So Steve hands one of the party members a megaphone, and he goes.
He handed my character the megaphone. Like, oh, that's nice that you have that.
Yeah. Everybody was like, oh, that's cool and everything. And as a team, I say, no, you don't understand. Steve brought a megaphone into a cylindrical enclosed space. Steve is a dick.
Yeah. Then we all started laughing at that.
Yeah, and then I also when you guys asked like how all the gnomes like survived in the tank for so long, and I was like there used to be 50 of them.
Yeah.
You guys didn't hear that. You guys just let it put right over your guys' head. I was like, I made a whole-on cannibal joke, and nobody even caught
No,
it.
I caught it. I didn't have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of caught up in what was going on at the moment.
Fucking at the same time. So.
Yeah. And then Wash was like, what fuel does this thing use? And it's like we had to burn the bodies.
Yeah.
Well, the remains had to go somewhere.
Yeah. So like.
Parts that we couldn't eat.
Yeah, so it was really funny for me. Like it was fun. It's great. I love just being able to just let my imagination go.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do need to learn some control when it comes to like rewards or when it comes to like making decisions and helping to inform the players.
Yeah.
Because I ended up giving way too much information. Like,
Yeah, I started asking
way too much information.
Yeah, like, basically we each had the choice between two different abilities for our characters based on. Long story short, there were a bunch of elemental titans around there, and we were each able to speak to one and get one of two different abilities from them based on like whether they're like a light elemental or a fire elemental.
And that wasn't the original concept. The idea was that you guys were supposed to talk to the elementals, and you could ask for anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to put the ball in your court, but instead I ended up fucking it up, and I gave you guys like multiple choice, because I know one of the best things in terms of helping someone make a decision is to make their options multiple choice.
Yeah. Like you can have this or that.
Yeah,
but then like I was going to choose two really cool sounding abilities, and I started asking questions because that's just how I am.
And then I ended up answering them because that's how I am.
Yeah. So we both realized later on, like talking about it later, we both realized that like, I shouldn't have asked the questions and Zathos shouldn't have answered some, at least not as many. You should have said, like, I can't tell you that much, I just can tell you the basics.
Yeah.
But it ended up working out okay. Yeah. Now my character can read thoughts by placing his hands on someone's head.
Yeah. Which after Corey gets the ability, he's just like, oh, like a Time Lord. I'm just like a, really?
Yeah, Time Lords have, which I looked up later, that's actually, I think that ability is called Mind Meld.
Okay. Well, at least I didn't accidentally copy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you learn a lot playing these games. I'm learning as I go to be a better player, and I'm learning as I go to be a better DM.
Yeah, it's the best way to learn is just to experience it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. Notice how they never asked what my character was about, even though
well, I was about to
explain this.
Yeah. I was about to say.
We got distracted by Steve, so go on.
You always get distracted by everything. That's basically what would happen. I mean, we're trying to play an hour-long D&D session, and it takes us 4 hours because we have to stop every 10 minutes to watch a video. And then do it like, oh, we gotta watch this one now. But anyway.
Anyways, so So moving on, Scott, don't tell them our secrets.
I will tell them our secrets. So Taylor, which big boob magician lady do you have this one? This is number 42, right?
No, 85.
Sorry, I lose track when we hit triple digits.
No. 42's on vacation in the Bahamas. I gave her a week off.
Okay.
Reminds me of that one, like you posted a trailer for, you guys are going to like a playthrough of, I think it was Sexy Beach 3 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You never actually posted that, but you posted the trailer for it. Like the little teaser, where it's just like a voice clip from it.
It's like, all right, so which girl do you want? It's like, I'll take the one with the glasses. I'm like, the one with the glasses? It's like, well, there's two of them with glasses. I was like, God, it's like giving up one of my daughters who, I paused, was like, okay, never mind.
That was a bad analogy to use.
It's like,
This guy's like, whoa.
Whoa. It made me laugh. So, Scott, your character.
So,
It's like, give up daughters who... Okay, hang on. Because you're like about to go into like... I guess you're saying like, my daughters who, and then you're going to talk about like...
How they have the sexicles and whatnot.
You're just like, wait a second. I just said daughters. That's probably not the best thing to say before going into this detail.
I don't know. Anyways, so Scott, your paladin.
My paladin, I call him Ogre. So, before I describe my paladin, I wanted you to go that I was at the time really addicted to Dark Souls and stuff like that. So I was like,
yeah,
you know, this is my first time D&D. I want to.
Just like a month ago, right?
Yeah, which is it's perfectly fine. I have absolutely no problem with you making a character who's inspired by a character. Now, when you just make a clone, then we have a problem.
Right, but this is what I thought. I says, okay, if you're gonna start to make it, if you're new to something, you gotta start with something familiar because it would be easier for you to do. And then later on, when you get more comfortable, you can start doing other things.
A solid egg.
Yeah. So you start with like that character as a base point, and then grow from there.
Yeah, so my paladin, I thought to myself, okay, one of my two favorite characters was Solaire and Tarkus. So I said, well, what if I made a character that was a combination of both of them, but was a little bit more like me personally as a character with my kind of personality.
in terms of his abilities, he was like Solaire and Tarkus, but in terms of personality, he was more like you.
Yeah, basically. So you got the tank that could block anything and the religious nut that is just so fun to be around. So I came up with this paladin that is kind of, well, he starts out, his background is that he starts out in a monastery and he doesn't know his parents, he's kind of an orphan, so he gets raised by these monks. I don't really specify what monks they are because I wanted to make it so like even he didn't know, it was just kind of something new to him and he doesn't really know.
Like something happened in his past.
Yeah. Eventually, he starts to have this thing that he wants to change the world for the better. He wants to be this hero that guides people through the light. But one day the monks go crazy. They think like, oh, the only way to save this world is we gotta cleanse it in fire. We gotta burn it all down to the ground. And he says, but isn't this evil within itself? Aren't we supposed to save people, not just wipe them off the map? So eventually my character burns the monastery to the ground.
As long as everybody.
Yeah, as long as everybody thinking that they were just too evil, and by his standards, he has to eliminate that evil before it does something. So that's what he does. Yeah.
Which that made for an interesting campfire story between our two characters. Your character burned down a monastery, and my character was the victim of a monastery being burned down. Not the same one. Like that was settled later,
but it led to an interesting conversation where my character's like,
I hope that wasn't yours.
Was it this monastery? No. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. That's essentially how the conversation went.
That was the bullet there. It wasn't it. But what I gave my character was that he's righteous and he's a lawful good and he wants to protect people, but at the same time he's very gullible, he's very doubtful, he's easily suckered into everything, and he's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
The last one's the fun part.
Yeah, because I want to play with it down the road, and right now my character is not really behaving is not really breaking the oath of a paladin, but he's on the line right now, but it's done on purpose because I want this character to grow through the ages. I don't want him just to go from boom, boom, and then all of a sudden he's like a perfect berry suit paladin. No, I want him to understand what it means to be the paladin, what it means to be that kind of protector.
Which is really important for me as a DM, and I kind of talked about this where like Scott's character ended up taking his paladin oaths while Corey was a DM, and Corey didn't really want to go, didn't really know what to do. You know, it's like, well, how are you going to take your oaths? And I was just like, I figured that he would need to go through a ritual or something. Like, you don't just like in the middle of the woods just be like, I'm a paladin. It's like, okay, there you go, paladin.
Yeah, so I just kind of like a ritual for the world that they were in.
Yeah.
But it actually came up with something
okay.
interesting. It actually came up with something interesting because Corey had this character, the head father of this church, I guess if you want to call it, and just says, why do you want to go down this path? Why do you want to be there? And I have my character say, I really don't know. I know what kind of person I am, but I don't know where I'm going. But I know that I'll never make any progress until I make the first step, and maybe this will help me find what my true calling is.
So essentially, at the end of the day, yay, character development.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love character development. I love, especially when we, anime, games, stuff like that. I love stories where the characters actually grow and you see them progress.
Yeah.
You have them aware of their surroundings. They'll react to something, not just these stupid things where like something happens and the character's like, oh well, it's just, no, you don't blow it off that easily. You have to, if something major happens, you have to have the characters interact with it, otherwise it's just not realistic enough. And so I want to make my character
just a huge fan of One Punch Man.
Okay, well, fair enough.
To be fair, I'm a fan of Overlord, which 90% of the time the same thing happens.
Yeah, but the main character in Overlord, Lord Ainz, he calls himself now, Momo Song with his original name.
It's like I can't remember his whole name, but Ainz will work.
Yeah, but like
Ainz
he does that. He does that. Like there's a moment where where he can make a choice. He's like, oh, I could easily do this, but it would have major consequences in the future. It's something that I don't really want, so I'm not gonna do it, even though I have the full power to do it.
Yeah.
And I hate it, because I hate stories that did that. Like I want to bring this up because I brought it up in my podcast quite a few times. Was Gurren Lagann? I hated the ending to it because it's like the character becomes God, and then it's like, oh well, are you gonna bring everybody back to life that died? Just bring him back to life, and he goes like, no, I'm not. And they're like, why not? You can do whatever you want. There's no recourse of doing it. And he's like, no, the dead should say that. I was like, no, just no, no.
All I remember about the ending of Gurren Lagann is that their mech, whatever version of it was, to like a Matryoshka doll kind of thing, where it just went like
full Matryoshka doll. Throw the giant mech. Throw the giant mech inside of the giant mech. Throw the mech inside of that, and then throw the last mech.
Until it was down to like the original Lagann that managed to deliver the final blow. Spoilers, but
no, it wasn't even that because Simone jumped out of it.
That's right. Like he just barely managed to deliver that final blow, like with an inch to spare.
It was like silly.
Well, my point was that, like, in the whole series, it just didn't give a fuck. It did whatever it wanted, and then at the last one, it goes, maybe we shouldn't just do whatever we want. I'm like, no!
So it kind of just pulled a 180 on the entire...
around like they're ninja stars, possibly wiping out entire galaxies. You might as well go full throttle. Don't just stop right when you get to the finish line. Just say, oh, well, I don't want to cross it.
Yeah.
No, you already crossed it. Just go for it.
I would love to do that if I ever made
well, he doesn't care. Well, I want to wish this person back to life.
if I ever made like an anime, like I would get really close to like finishing like a plot, and then I would jump cut away from it to go start like a new plot, and then like you never know how the first plot ended.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that till
especially if it's like a really compelling plot.
And then at the very end, like it's like a really dramatic moment. And then you're just like, "What's she gonna say?" And then she goes to say it, and then like it just cuts, and the credits roll. It's like, seriously, what the fuck were you expecting?
Yeah.
I've been doing this to you the entire time.
Yeah. Or like you have it like so you cut to a new story, and when that story's about to finish, it cuts to the ending of the original story.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you found out what you can't be upset with me because I solved answer your questions from before. But it's like, but now I have all these new questions.
But that's okay.
What's going on? Why do I want it so much?
Really awesome series.
I
think the point is that we're all starting D&D, and we're all actually really enjoying it. Especially like it's probably like the bar for entry really isn't too bad, especially if you're playing with a bunch of people who like are experienced with it. Like I got my first character sheet from them. They gave me a character sheet. And then like I just had basic questions. I was like, how do I get my stats? What's a good what's a good class for this kind of play style? Oh, how does this race work?
Yeah.
What the fuck is dexterity?
Yeah, I'm always so afraid.
What do you mean when you say roll for initiative?
Yeah.
But I'm always so afraid. Why does a die have 20 sides?
Yeah.
But I'm always so afraid to get into stuff like that sometimes because the people that get really into it, and I love you guys, you have a lot of passion for this stuff, and it's great. I love to see people with that kind of passion. But sometimes you have to understand that you have to pull back for the new players, and you have to like say like, well, you really can't do that, but we're going to allow it this time because you're new, but you make aware of it that in the future you won't be able to do that as freely. And it's like, okay, I get that, you know.
Yeah, I don't think like we haven't exactly straight up denied you an action, have we? I think one time we disencouraged it.
It's like, that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
It won't stop you, but it's a very, very bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple times you maybe change my plans or something. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go attack this guy. Well, don't you want to pick up the other javelin you stuck in the guy and then throw it at him? And it's sometimes made up about. I'll go, okay, I'll pick up my javelin with the guy still attached and beat this motherfucker with another motherfucker.
Yeah,
and then you roll a 2.
And you owned it. Like when we give you a suggestion, you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, for me, like that was what I was DMing. It was less of a, like, don't you want to do this? It's more like, don't forget that your javelin's still stuck in the other guy if you want to go pick that up.
Yeah,
it's more just like, by the way, this is over here. If you,
I mean, the only thing
just so you have resources.
The only thing that kind of really irked me lately was your last DMing, Taylor, was when you were giving us the powers and everything like that, whatever it was, and then like my powers, the rules kept changing on me, and I don't know if it's because you kept forgetting to tell me what the rules are, or you rethought it and then you try to add a new thing, and every single time it kept changing.
It was mostly a combination of both. Because
and it kind of irked me, because it's like, well, one minute you just said it doesn't apply, and now you're saying it does apply to me, and I'm like, oh, make up your mind. So,
yes, it's like you come up with these powers on the spot, Taylor, and then there are points where you're like, wait, that'd be kind of overpowered, maybe I should dial this part of it back a bit.
Yeah, so, and guess what? You'd be spot on. I did come up with all those powers on the spot.
Yeah. Which is impressive, because there are like four people in that party, so you gave us you had to come up with like 8 powers on the spot. Like 8 really unique powers.
Okay, Josh, you're gonna have this power, or Corey, give me a name for this power. True story.
You could tell I got lazy at the end when I had to do with Wash when he was doing like the wind elemental. I was like, you can either get Wind Runner's legs or wind singer like wind speaker's song. And you're just like, what do they do? And I was like, they do.
You can blow some air.
I just like, they do things like you run fast or you talk loud.
Basically, more like you can communicate with anyone who's in open air.
Yeah, which was neat.
Yeah.
And interesting, like when I chose my power, like me and Taylor had a discussion afterwards when everyone else went to bed, and Taylor was like, well, why'd you choose that power? And I says, because of the way that my character was, every time I attack something, very rarely would I get like a critical hit or a successful hit. Every single time, like I roll low numbers, but my defense was really high to the point that I could block anything almost like rather easily. But my attacking strength was so bad, and I thought to myself,
your strength was fine. It was just your accuracy that you never hit.
Yeah, your accuracy was shite.
Yeah, but the ability that
you had Berserker syndrome.
It made it easier for me to have a higher attack chance.
Yeah, which was nice. And I know it's broken. I am very fully aware that it was broken. Like when I first told you it like it probably hit me later. I was like, oh, that's really broken.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you said that. It's like that much. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly what it was, but
which why it is that I came back and I was just like, okay, Scott, here's some limitations.
Well,
and then I came back again. I was like, Scott, here's more limitations.
Yeah, I actually didn't think it was that. I actually didn't think it was that broken because I only thought it only worked on one type of thing. It only worked on things that were unlawful, but everything else it had no effect on. Like if you were neutral, it had no effect. If you had to be unlawful, period. It was out of 9 alignments, it had to be that specific one.
Well, yeah, but
well, those 3, like the evil alignments.
But the way I said it was anything that was not lawful. So basically,
so anything that was like neutral or chaotic.
Yeah. So that's 6 out of
or
9
neutral or evil rather
that you can use it on.
Yeah, but I didn't see it that
evil.
way. Like I honestly, like you guys thought it one way. I thought it was something else. I thought, okay, so something has to be an unlawful alignment for it to work on it.
Okay, I see how you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there is an alignment that's unlawful.
Well, the opposite side of the scale of lawful is chaotic. Like it's got lawful, neutral, chaotic, and then from top to bottom is good, neutral, evil. So I guess he was thinking that anything with a chaotic alignment he'd be able to hit, or maybe anything with an evil alignment. But then what happens to lawful evil?
Yeah, and which is why it is I said lawful, because the elemental I called it like the light elemental, but what I wanted to call it was like lawful, like
The law elemental.
Which like law isn't an elemental. It's something that's created by man and all this stuff. And I'm just like, stop overthinking, brain.
Yeah, I know that feeling when you're DMing. You're just overthinking things. Like one point where I had a whole dungeon mapped out. I had a whole dungeon mapped out for you guys to go through, and then you went right for the. You happened to pick the direction that took you right to the goal. So I'm like, is there a point for the rest of the dungeon? So like, there are these other paths that you decided to explore, and I'm just like, and just like erasing, like, never mind, there's nothing there because I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, like you were stuck on it for a long time, and you were really ready to go to bed. I was just like,
well, it was just really late that night.
How about this? Just erase it, and then we'll leave. And you're like, okay, erase it. You put a wall there, and I was like, okay, bye.
We were in a room. Now what happened?
Yeah, I probably could have come up with something if I hadn't been so tired at the time, but the adventure took a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, our D&D campaigns end up doing that.
Because I kept missing.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Every time I went to strike with my hammer, it was always 2, 3, 2. What?
Yes, you kept missing, but then you managed to stun it with with your shield bash, which set him up for a nice strike from Taylor's character.
Yeah.
But
so you contributed to the fight, but you could have contributed more if you hadn't had such bad rolls.
Yeah.
Right, but in a serendipitous kind of way, it actually fits with my character if you think about it, because he wants to be a protector, not really an enforcer. So you can just see this guy being so skilled with his shield that he really doesn't need the warhammer. It's just an add-on.
He really
it's a shield.
Like you're like, oh man, I better dodge that warhammer, but really you need to dodge the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going all Captain America on your ass.
It's like Swan Annie, where
Swanny.
Yeah, Swanny, where it's like you think it's like I better dodge that Q. It's going to hurt a lot. It's like no, it's the auto attacks that hurt.
Yeah.
Then you sell your shit and then go full AP.
Yeah, you go from 80 to transition to AP.
So as frustrating as it is, it kind of works out, and I kind of like it that way.
Yeah, which is...
I sucked with my hammer, but I could block everything. Like, I don't think there was anything I didn't block so far with my shield.
And that's,
you have yet to take like any damage almost.
Yeah,
in any of our stories so far.
I really need to do, like when I go back on Wednesdays, is that I need to learn about shit like armor class, where they're like if something attacks and then like your armor class does this and this and this, and therefore like it doesn't hit, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, well in our case it's just because his strength checks with blocking with his shield were so high that he kept consistently blocking it.
Yeah, which again, we're new, so we had to make some house rules to make shit make sense for us.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess the way we think through as DMs at least,
stupid.
we basically say like what would it if you're trying to block something, what would you need a lot of strength to hold your? I think you need a lot of strength to hold your shield up. So most of the time, if an enemy attacks you, you can roll for strength to block or dexterity to dodge.
Yeah,
and then you just roll and add your saving throw.
Like I have no dexterity, so I can't just roll out of the way really easily, but I can't block it, which I'm just like a human wall. Just,
yeah. And that's where the Tarkus part comes in.
We had that worm, and I blocked it. I was like, "Oh, what did you eat?" Yeah. This thing was breathing on me as I was blocking it.
Yeah, he also likes that paladin likes to make little one-liners and quips when he's fighting. If I remember correctly.
Like part of his personality is why I call him the pun-isher, because he'd crack a joke or a pun every time he gets into a fight.
Yeah, didn't he one time crack a joke right when he was about to do the final blow and then miss?
Yeah, and my paladin would go, "Stop, hammer time," and I completely missed it.
Yeah.
I completely missed the blow.
It's like, stop, hammer time, and then like the thing dodges out of the way because you rolled like a 2.
I think my favorite thing that's been said so far in our D&D thing was when you guys were meeting with the elemental and Corey was meeting with the time elemental, and I was like, this was before I'd introduced any abilities. I was like, Corey, you can ask this thing anything that you want, and Corey's like, okay.
Come back to me, I'll think about it.
I was like, Corey, remember, you're about to ask something that is completely omnipotent, that knows anything and everything that could ever have happened in the history of everything. And then it's like, so I'm like, so what are you gonna ask him? And then Josh goes, so how are you?
Yeah. It reminds me, like, just like yesterday, earlier today, I was playing the new Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Fates.
Okay.
And I won't spoil it for you because I'm assuming you're gonna pick it up eventually, Taylor. but
It's gonna take me a little bit of time.
so I'm not gonna go into detail. But there's a character you meet who is like he basically is going to he tells you he's going to read your fortune, like tell you what's going to happen in the future, that kind of thing. So he goes to like he's doing like his whole thing to divine the future. And he's like oh gods above, what's up? And I'm just like, okay. I mean, it fits his character. Like he'll know once you meet the character who it is probably. But I'm just like, that's fitting for your character, but so unfitting for a fortune teller.
It reminds me of Henry a little bit from
Yeah, Henry was a great character.
He's just like it's like if you keep going, it's like when you dream, it's like oh I wanna it's like when I die I wanna explode. It's like all this stuff. It's like but I don't want it to hurt. I don't like ouchies.
Yeah.
And I'm
this other character I just got.
I love Henry.
This other character I got, I think her name is Setsuna or something like that. She's an archer, and she's very like kind of spacey. Like she tends to just kind of space it. Like when she engages in a fight, if she's like the supporting character, like one of her lines for support is like, "Oh, we're fighting." But one of her support competitions, I had her support one of my my other characters who's a ninja, and she snuck up on the ninja without even meaning to. And it's like I love that kind of stuff. Like it gets to the point where I'm starting to get more characters on my team. And I'm like, which one do I want my characters to romance? Because there's so many interesting female characters. So I'm just like, I'm gonna get everybody up to A, and then I'm gonna make a decision.
Yeah, that's just gonna make the decision harder, Corey.
I know, but I want to know as much as I can. I want to have an informed decision rather than I pick this one and like, oh, I wish I'd gone with that one.
So what I did, Corey, really quick. The funny thing about sneaking up is that so I was working at Staples today, and a handful of buildings away from us is this place called Apollo Burger, which is a pretty good place actually.
Yeah.
They got good chicken wings. But one of the manager guys from over there comes over, and he comes over like once a week just to pick up general office supplies because
Yeah.
like anybody who runs a business will probably need that stuff. So he comes over. And like I see him enter the door, I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" And then like I turn around to get back to the stuff that I was doing, which was behind my counter, and he comes over to ask me a question. I don't hear him come up behind me at all, and he goes, "Hey," and I go, "Hatchafrit!" And I was just like, "Hi, how you doing?" He's like, "I see you're easily startled." I was like, "Easily is not the right word."
Yeah, it's like I don't think I told this in the podcast, but when I used to work at Safeway, there were a handful of times where I'd be patrolling the aisles like as part of my job. Sometimes I'd just go walk around the aisles just so I could, if I saw a customer who needed help, I could help them. Yeah. Like I could just walk up and say, "Can I help you? Can I help you find anything?" If they seemed like they were lost or something. 2 or 3 times I walked with someone, I see them jump, or even one time, she's like, the person like gasps, like, "Oh, you scared me." I'm like, I'm not trying to be stealthy. I'm just trying to be courteous here. But I have this inadvertent it's like a passive stealth ability that I can't turn off.
I think I told you once, I was like, "Corey, start stomping your way towards the customers. I'm sure that'll do it."
Yeah, like I don't think that's a good idea. Plus, it's burn a lot more energy. My feet are sore enough by the end of the day. Thank you very much. There's a lot of standing and walking when you work at Safeway.
Yeah, and there's a lot of standing and walking.
The crap out of you.
There's a lot of
scaring the crap out of me every time he flips the table in Tabletop Simulator. Every time.
That's the fun part. Also, I think that's also one thing that's making D&D really fun is that because we're not all at the same table, we end up using Tabletop Simulator. And I remember Alex wanted us to use like this thing. It's like, oh, this is specifically made for playing on playing D&D. But like for us, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it might be better for like if it's a DM or controller or have like certain tools that make it useful for D&D playing. But it's nice to have like even if they're not actually physical, if they Tabletop Simulator simulates a dice roll. You pick a dice, shake it, and throw it.
Yeah.
So it at least feels kind of like that. So that's kind of what we like to do.
Yeah, which was my thing. Like nothing against the program and nothing against Alex. I was just like, my God, Tabletop Simulator is much better for that.
Yeah, it's much better for like the whole like maybe less so for going through adventures in D&D, but more so for feeling like a social gathering rather than a video game.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, good times. Speaking of which, if anybody wants to hop into D&D, I want to just drop off a little points of help that I've noticed.
We can wrap this up pretty soon because we've gone over an hour.
Yeah. So this is what I want to say. Okay, if you're gonna hop in and you're an experienced gamer, remember very much, don't think about it through a video game perspective. Okay?
Yeah.
Because one, some DMs will take advantage of that. where you're like for instance, you find the cave of like a fucking dead Sith Lord, say, from Star Wars, and it's got this huge hulking guardian protecting it. You're just like, well, I wouldn't have come across this if this wasn't the way forward. You know, like, don't think that.
Yeah, it's totally possible to come across an enemy that's way too strong for you to handle, and the best option is to run.
Yeah, and that's perfect, and that's perfectly fine. And this is one of
I like to see more of that in actual video games, like in like there are a couple times like that where I think it's more like that in Oblivion, where certain areas were, or actually no, Oblivion was less like that. It was more like the enemies scaled with you, but with Skyrim, I was hoping that they'd have like the enemies don't scale with you, but then sometimes enemies appeared and like they were too strong for you, but that's the way you're supposed to go forward anyway. So it's like, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah.
But I like to see more of games where they have like certain areas where you're not supposed to go there because it's like, okay, I can't handle this. I'll come back when I'm a higher level.
Yeah. My point is that with is that me as a DM is that if you ever like, I will never stop you from running. Like, if you get into a fight and you can't win it, then run.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing I'm working on is that I experimented within our last DM thing, our last D&D thing was monsters who like a lot of people were just like, oh, it's a monster, therefore I have to fight it, and then it's like, no, monsters have lives too. You know, like they wanna live. So like there was a situation where there was a lot of noise and a lot of chaos, a lot of commotion, and a lot of shit was running away and fleeing, and that included the monsters.
Yeah, which is the point. Like, at least I don't know about the rest of us, but my character at the point was thinking that maybe these things are running away from these deer and wildlife are running away from the goblins that were running.
Yeah.
Which ended up being not the case because the goblins were running away from the same things. It's like,
yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, which was the idea. Anyways, so I think this is a good place to end. Has anybody got any last little tidbits to add?
Kind of what I said before, when you're playing as a player, especially, just think outside the box. And because if you can think it, you can do it in most cases. Or if you're not sure, you ask the DMs, like, can I? Like, a lot of times I'll ask Taylor if he's a DM, like, hey, can I do an acrobatics check to do this thing? It's like, sure, go for it.
Yeah. Which is also a good thing as a DM. I think Pro Jared put this, that whatever it is that your players do, your answer is yes. Now that doesn't mean that you enable every single action. You can say like and his example was great. He's like, I'm gonna go arm wrestle that owlbear, and you'd be like, well, an owlbear doesn't really know the rules and regulations of arm wrestling, so he'd, you know, probably just bite you.
Yeah, like, let's have an explanation as to why that might not work.
Yeah, but like still, if at the end of the day they want to go wrestle an owlbear, you let them go wrestle an owlbear.
Yeah. Or again, I don't want to spoil what happens to it, but again, look up Pro Jared's story about the ballista bat, and you'll see exactly what we mean about the DM. Like having his own plans, also accommodating to the plans that the players have.
I'm gonna roll 1d20. God damn it.
Yeah. Or like, what? Yeah, he has some other good stories. If you like that, also look up the one where, what was the other one called? I don't want to spoil what happens in it, but the one where they fight that one creature.
Help?
There's like one ugly.
Oh yeah. That's what it is. Like it's, you'll find it right in the line, like the third or fourth D&D December. You can't miss it.
Yeah, if you just look at his playlist, there's a lot of great videos. He also has a lot of tips for like getting started with D&D and how to be a good player, how to be a good DM. Those are all great resources to watch, and then a bunch of them are really great stories, like the Ballista Bat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which again, I can't emphasize that enough. If I can't emphasize that enough, go watch that video if you haven't. It's hilarious.
And I say just have fun with it. I mean, like, we always talk about saying, like, don't be that guy, don't be the jerk, don't be the person that just tries to control the whole thing, even though you're not the GM.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
But have fun with it. This is a whole game. The rule books are not set to be the rules that you have to follow. It's more like a guideline.
Yeah,
it's just to help you.
And you'll notice that if you look at what it is, like for instance, like all of us have this thing called the Player's Handbook. You'll notice that it's called the Handbook, not the guidelines or the rules or anything like that.
It's not the Player's Rulebook, it's the Player's Handbook.
You can use it as a reference, but not everything here is set in stone.
Yeah, it's like what they say in Pirates of the Caribbean about the Pirates Codes. Like, we see it more as guidelines than actual rules.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's the whole point. Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I think this is what all D&D players would say. It's like, if the rules become so taxing that you're taking away the fun from the game, then you're playing the game wrong.
Yeah, like there are a lot of provisions in the game for like having to like eat and drink and sleep and keeping track of your rations and all that, but that's all optional. It's just there if you want to roleplay to another level.
We decided to forgo that, where it's just like you're not like you're not.
But we'll assume whenever you go on a journey that you stocked up on supplies.
Yeah.
And we'll assume that you kept yourself fed and slept enough and all that.
Like you have this magical like utilities like money that like it's almost infinite, and you only use it for like food and shit.
Yeah.
So and that's why you don't lose any fucking gold for that shit. You can.
I just had an idea for another.
That. It's like playing like hardcore mode in Fallout New Vegas. I mean, you can, but like that appeals to certain people and not everybody.
Yeah. I just had an idea for a scenario I want to play out next time I DM, or maybe not next time, but at some point when I DM.
No, it's my turn next time. I want to do it.
Alright, fine, Scott, you DM next time.
I want to be God.
I would be more than happy to see you give us a campaign or just a one-off.
Yeah. What I meant is, like, at some point when I am DMing, I've got an idea for a plotline I'd like to introduce later.
Okay.
Well, just to give a little hint, I actually have an idea for a 3-part story, but it all depends on what you guys do in the first part. If you do something very specific in the first part, then you get to move on to the next part. If you don't, then I can just save those ideas for another time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this will do us for tonight's episode.
Yeah. It went on a bit longer than usual, so sorry about that, but hopefully you enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah, we're passionate about this stuff. Like, this shit's fun, and you know, it's one of the few things that all of us can play together. Especially even Josh, the guy who plays Heimerdinger mid and Heimerdinger top and Heimerdinger jungle.
And Heimerdinger support.
And Heimerdinger ADC. Like he's having a lot of fun being a mage, and and he straight up told me that the first time I was DMing, he was like, there wasn't a lot of fighting. And he was really upset about that because he wanted fighting. I was like, okay. So I made the next one really more action-y, where there was a lot more stuff going on, and you had to do things. And like Josh's character isn't really much of a talker; it's more of a doer.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I actually like characters.
He's the kind of character that when he wants to do something, he's going to do it regardless of what the party wants. He kind of dragged us along two times because we didn't want to leave him alone.
Yeah, and then one time you're just like, fuck it.
So you want to climb the mountain? We're going to go around. You have fun. Tired of this.
Paladin. His character gets in fights with my paladin.
Which is fun.
My character's off to the side, just like I'm just gonna leave him to it, and I'll only intervene if it comes to violence.
Exactly.
Well, I say we go up the mountain. Well, I want to go around it. Fine, you go up it. We'll go around it.
Anyways, so thank you guys, everybody, so much for joining us.
This has been Spork.
You're not welcome.
Oh.
Don't ever come back.
No, maybe we'll have you back at some point. We don't really have a plan for guest speakers, but
yeah.
So I don't know what's planned for next month, but tune in. You'll at least see me and Zathos again.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.